This video, we're going to be going through my step-by-step process on what I look for when I'm selling calls below my cost basis. And we're going to use a real life example of PayPal in this video. But very quickly, before we begin, don't forget to check out the OGT Investing Almanac. It's absolutely free. It goes through my whole investing trading strategy, and then it also gives you the ultimate free list of option trading tools around how to find intrinsic value, stock screeners, as well as money motivational books, full free on YouTube. All the links are all in there. And the way you get this is by subscribing to the YouTube channel and heading over to the community tab where you will find the link for this Google Doc. So, with that being said, let's get into the meat of it. So, selling covered calls is firstly an amazing strategy to build passive income on your portfolio, and you need 100 shares of the underlying stock. And I'm going to walk you guys through the game plan for PayPal. I got assigned 100 shares on Friday at a cost basis of $100 per share. And as you can see, when I wrote this slide, we are at 73.50. It's dropped slightly. It's 73.12, as you can see through my TradingView tab. And the first thing we need to do is we need to track your cost basis and your break even in a spreadsheet, right? This is really, really important because you have to know your numbers. Because if, as I am, I've been selling puts on PayPal for a couple of months or so, and I've been generating cash flow from it, and that does impact my break even. So my cost basis is $100 and my break even is 96.32. When you take all the income I've made through selling puts and finally being assigned at $100, I have a break even price of 96.32, because that's good to know. You need to know that. And this is the order of which I look at the option chain, which I've got PayPal's over here for reference to see what we do. So ideally, the best scenario is to sell covered calls above your cost basis, so above $100. And for this example, I've done the expiration for this Friday. I'm shooting this video on a Tuesday, so there's only 3 days left till the market, so the premiums ain't going to be that great. But just to prove my point here, you can see selling above 100. I've not even got above 95, and you can see there's no premium for 4 days out above $94. So I can't sell above my cost basis. I can't sell covered calls at my cost basis. I can't even sell it at break even because this option chain doesn't go up to 96 in the screenshot I've taken, and you can see 95 is zero. So, apologies. So we have to sell below our break even. So the question then becomes, at what strike price? Do we pick 75? Do we pick 80, 85? What is the best one to do? Before we do that, just so you know, for full transparency, is I am looking to also bring down this cost basis by selling another put. So I have an active put at the 65 strike expiring in 2-3 weeks. Can't remember the exact expiration date. And if I'm assigned that those 100 shares, I would then lower that cost basis by quite a bit. But as a consequence, PayPal will need to drop all the way to 65. So not only am I reducing my cost basis, but the gap between the current price and my cost basis as is roughly going to be around the same, because it still has to drop to get there. But just so you guys know, that is what I'm doing when I invest in companies. I do 100 shares. If I get assigned, I make sure I have enough bullets or enough capital to pull the trigger again to lower down that cost basis. And PayPal is one of those. It's one of my high conviction plays to do that. So below break even, right? So the first thing what I do is I know that I can't sell above cost basis at my break even. So what I do is I head over to TradingView, and I've got PayPal stock on here. You can see it was at highs of 309, and currently trading at 73.15, and this blue line is my cost basis at 100. What I like to do is I like to use the ATR indicator. Apologies. And what the ATR indicator stands for is the average true range. And what you do, you set the number of periods. So I've got a 14 bar, so I'm on a daily chart. So I'm looking at the last 2 weeks, last 7 days, last 3 days. And what it does, it measures the high and the low of the bar, and takes the average over X number of bars, in this case, 14, 7, and 3. So you can see, if I take my mouse away from the chart, you can see that the 14 ATR is sitting at $4.20. Now, what that means is that PayPal, on average, moves up or down by $4.20 every single day, right? Up or down. It doesn't tell you the direction, it just measures the volatility. Over the last 14 days, on average, PayPal has moved $4.20 per day. Over the last 7 days, it's $3.95, and over the last 3 days, it's $3.51. Why do I want to know this? Well, the reason why I want to know this is I want to know, on average, how often does PayPal move? Because then I can kind of work out how many days I've got left till expiration, and then kind of work out, okay, if PayPal was to go up by $4.20 over the next until Friday. So I'm discounting today because today's move's pretty much done. It's not really doing anything, as you can really see. It's not moved up. It's pretty much break even. It's 0.32%. So if we forget today and go with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So for 3 days at $4.20, 4, 8, 12, $12.60. If PayPal continued just to go up by $4.20 every single day, it would go up to $12.60, which is $4.20 every single day. So if we did 4.2 times by the 3 days, that means the best case scenario for PayPal as a stock on average would go up by $12.60. Now, as you can see, we are in a downtrend, right? So the odds of PayPal having 3 days of going up at $4.20 every single day is very unlikely. But it's a good range to look at. So the first thing I would then do is look at the current price of 73, not 93, 73 plus 12.6. So that's 85.60. Let's call it $85. So if I go back to here and look at the $85, you can see that I could sell that and get $4. But like I said, it's very unrealistic for PayPal, in my potential view, for it to go up by $4.20 every single day, right? And again, the reason why I've taken the $4.20 is you can see here it's the biggest number. You want to play worst case scenario, so you want to take the biggest number out of the three, or you can average the three to get a number, right? So what I do is more intuition, more than 80% of the 420 or things like that. I use this as a guide, and I said, okay, best case scenario is there's no earnings coming out. So another thing is you need to check earnings, right? I know PayPal have earnings over here on the 27th of July, which doesn't coincide with this Friday's expiration date. So I've not got any increase in volatility. Yes, there could be some news, positive or negative, that could come out, but I'm only going with the information I actually know. So I've got no earnings, and you've got to remember, the last 2 weeks doesn't include any earnings inside there because earnings was back in April. So what we can see here is we don't have any earnings data. So this is relatively stable information. You can see PayPal hasn't really done that much over there. So it needs to go up $4.20 every single day to get to that strike. So what I look at that, and I also look at how much money I actually want to make for the risk that I'm putting on, because you got to remember is you can be assigned before expiration date. That's one thing you can also need to bear in mind when doing this. I don't mind doing it because I don't believe you will ever be called away your shares if your strike is above the current price. So if I was to do the 84 strike and the price is 73.19, even if the price went to 80, why would someone exercise that option when they can just buy at the market at 80? So so I don't think you're going to get called away early if your strike is above the current price. If you are in the money, different conversation, but there are ways to manage that. Now, for the sake of this video, personally, I would have gone a bit more aggressive around 78, 79 to capture more premium, because if PayPal did go up, I would have started rolling the position and doing other things on there. If you want to understand that in a bit more detail, get some coaching on my coaching course, the join button somewhere if you want to understand that. So what I did is I think from memory, I think it's the next slide, I think I did the 83 strike. So the 83 strike currently is at $7. I got filled, so I did it a bit earlier from recording this video. I did it at 10 cents, so I got $10. Now, so at the time of recording or selling the call, it was $9.24 away from the current price, which is around 12.5% away from where we were when I placed the call. Now, can PayPal go up $9.24, 12.5% in 3 days? Absolutely. Do I think it's realistic that it's going to do that? I don't think so. And again, that's just my own intuition of the market. If you were wanted to be a bit more conservative, you go at a higher strike. If you wanted to be a bit more aggressive, go at a lower strike. But that's what I do. I use the ATR as my kind of benchmark. I see where if we're in an uptrend, then I'll be a bit more conservative. But because we're in a downtrend, and we've only got 3 days, these options are going to deteriorate quite fast. So I was quite happy doing that. $10 is not great, and again, I probably would have done a 2-week call to pick up $50, $60. But because I'm shooting this video as an example, I was quite happy just to do this. So I've sold the 83 call at $10. Now, I was able to sell the 83 call because I do have 100 shares as collateral, even though if I was to get called away, I would be making a loss on it. But like I said, the odds of me getting called away are fairly minimal as long as I stay out the money. And for those of you who've been watching, as part of my strategy, what do I do with that $10? Now, you can use that $10, withdraw it, go get a Happy Meal from McDonald's or whatever it is you want to do. But what I do, I go and buy shares in companies that I want to invest in. And they could be other companies that are below the intrinsic value, or they could be more aggressive growth companies where they don't have kind of intrinsic or they're not profit making. So in this example, I have bought 1.69 shares or $10 worth of SoFi at $5.90. Now, I only own 101 shares at an average price of $6.83. So buying 1.7 shares reduces my cost basis further. And these are 100 shares I have brought with premium. So examples like this, all of these $100, $20, whatever I make, I go and buy shares in SoFi. So it feels like to me that I've not put my initial capital at risk in this kind of growth stock. And because I've got over 100 shares, I am selling covered calls and, every single week making between $5 and $20 depending on where the price is. So I'm making more on covered calls on SoFi than I am with PayPal, because I'm closer to my average cost of $6.83 with the current price around $5.90, right? But hopefully this starts to make sense that I'm selling covered calls, I'm taking the premiums, and I'm investing that premium into buying more shares to reduce cost basis of shares that I got. I could have bought $10 worth of PayPal. I could have done that. But the reason why I didn't, because I've got this active put out there, and that $10 isn't going to really add any value when I'm happy to buy another 100 shares and put another $6,500 inside. So there's no need for me to go into PayPal. So that's why I've gone into a lower value stock where you only need, in this example, $590 to go get another 100 shares. But I'm not selling puts on SoFi. I am taking premiums that I've gained and buying SoFi shares, and now selling covered calls on SoFi and reinvesting it pretty much back into SoFi just to kind of, get that, which is why I was able to, get an additional share. And I'm also doing that on Fubo, and I'm also doing that on Robinhood as well. So on those three stocks, I've not put any of my initial capital in, just the proceeds of me selling puts and selling covered calls. All that income is going straight into these stocks, because I think over the next 5-10 years, I think, I believe that these stocks will go higher. They may not go higher, but at least then if they do tank, then it's premiums that I play with. So I think of it as free money. And that's exactly what I teach inside this Investing Almanac. So make sure you get that. If you've got any questions, comment down below, but hopefully that makes sense. Get the ADR indicator on TradingView. If you've not got TradingView, link is down below. And I shall see you guys in the next video.